Now that we've talked about the three main elements of pathos, logos, and ethos as important for a successful message, and we've looked at how to choose a topic, we're going to look at order of research. Most likely you're listening to this because you have an assignment due, a speech, or some sort of a communication message. And one of the things that I want to do is help you arrange the order of research to maximize your time and to have a productive communication message as an end product. So the three things I want to bring out have to do with starting with yourself, starting with an expert next, and then moving towards what's most recent. So let me explain that. When you have a lot of sources to choose from, hopefully academic, and if you're doing a university assignment, you're going to want it to be academic. So websites you might go to first, but it's not necessarily academic. Most professors want to see scholarly work, not just someone who posted a blog or something on the website. But you have a large, more than this to choose from. Where do I go? An encyclopedia, a journal article? Do I go to a book or a commentary? The first place you really want to start, believe it or not, is yourself, and I'll tell you why. Get out a blank piece of paper or sit in front of your computer and type or write out what you're interested in this topic, what you know about it, all the details you know, what your agenda is, what you'd like to see happen in the audience. Just flesh out on paper who you are and your relationship to the topic and what you know about it. Set that aside, and that's going to help you. It's going to help you know what you want to select and what you don't want to select, because your agenda for the message is why you're giving the communication message in the beginning. So you don't want to lose that. And then let's say you, in your just writing out and or typing out what you know about it, you're going to have some pathos, some stories or some description that you've written out that you don't have to cite. It's just part of who you are and what you contribute to the message. That's true of the logic and your reasoning as well. So the next thing to do is, after you've taken time out, I'd say at least 30 minutes, and write out your thoughts and what you know about it, then you want to find an expert. And the reason why you want to find an expert is because they've done all this work. They know the best sources. That's why you take your car to the best auto mechanic, is because you don't want to have to retake your car based on a mistake. You want someone who really knows what they're doing. So let's say you have a business presentation that you're giving in a particular area of economics. So I would say go to the economics professor or email someone who's an economics expert and say, I'm doing a presentation. It's about 5 to 8 minutes, and I want to gather the right information. Do you have any suggestions on the best sources for my topic? And most likely they're going to be very helpful. And I've done this several times throughout my academic studies, is I've emailed people who are experts, and they most often are, within a week, they've emailed back with some very helpful ideas and sources. And if they're willing to talk with you on the phone, you can cite that as an interview, and it really does nicely in terms of getting approval from your professor, because they probably know that expert, otherwise they wouldn't be in the field. So start with an expert and then move out to what's most recent. So I would arrange these in a particular order. I would start with a journal article that's most recent, that's scholarly. And you can go to any database in your field. So if it's education, you can go to ERIC database, or if it's biblical studies or you're preparing a sermon, you can do Atla Religion Index. And it doesn't matter what field you're in, there are search engines that draw up recent articles that are scholarly. Talk with your local librarian and they'll help you with that. So I would start with an article that's recent, and I would move out to things that are a little more older. So I'd save a commentary maybe and a book I would go to at the end. When I do find an article or an academic paper that's recent, I might use their bibliography as a springboard because it's most recent. They've done some work, and I can use some of their sources to follow up on for what I want to research. So I would then just arrange these based on what's most recent. It doesn't mean that the older ones aren't as good. This will just help you in terms of maximizing your research time and finding out the nuggets. You know, there's a movie in which there's a dad that goes back to school, and I remember the particular scene. He holds up a piece of paper or a paper that he'd been cheating, and his business staff had been helping him pass this course. And he holds it up and he says, "Wait a minute, it's very thin." He goes, "This feels like a C, beef it up a little bit." Well, there's something to academics that's important, is you got to have the right nuggets or the right ornaments to show that you've combed through and you have some of the best material. It's the same as baking something or the best ingredients for a pizza. It's the same with a presentation. The better your ingredients, the more recent they are and fresh, and the tighter that you bring those things together, that's going to show in your presentation. So go ahead and start with yourself. It'll give you some parameter. Move to finding an expert if you can, and then order these sources in a way that's most recent.